Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is another edition of my weekly Will I Buy It series wherein every single Sunday you and I sit down together and we chat about new makeup releases and I share my opinion as to whether or not I want to buy certain items and why. So this video series was of course inspired by Samantha March. She inspired this series and this is her own idea and I'll put her channel and information down below if you're interested in checking her out. But I will say that this week we have some interesting things, but some of the stuff that we have to share, like that I have to share with you today, is not that interesting at all. Like, in fact, most of it is not that interesting. I don't know why. So yes, spoiler alert, there's not really much interesting stuff that I'm gonna get, but there's plenty of stuff for me to roast. So let's just get into it. Morphe is coming out with their 39S palette. This is the palette right here. It's supposed to include 38 shadows with one pressed glitter and it is going to be retailing for $35. I feel that this is a palette that they're trying to kind of make it like the Norvina palette. You know how everybody was going crazy over the Norvina palette and then some people were talking about how they wished that they had more purple shades in the purple themed palette. I feel like Morphe coming out with the 39S is a way for them to do that. However, I feel that this is not necessarily a palette that I want to buy for several reasons. One of the reasons is that the only pressed glitter in this palette is a brown. Like I feel like a brown pressed glitter is kind of boring and I don't want to buy a palette that has a pressed glitter that's brown because I know it will never get used. I also don't like how there are some brown shades in here. Like I know that I won't be using those brown shades and even though they are definitely a minority in the palette, I don't think it's worth it for me to get the palette. And another thing, I also have almost all of the shades in this palette in my collection already. I can dupe this palette so many times over and I just have so many Morphe palettes that getting another Morphe palette, even if it looks kind of pretty, is just not worth it for me. So yes, like when you have 5 Morphe palettes, I feel like that's just enough. I also am looking at the price and it's $35. At the moment, I don't want to pay $35 for Morphe. I'm just not interested, so this is definitely going to be a pass in my book. I also think it's worth it speaking on this new launch from Too Faced. They're launching an highlighter palette with a mask, and the highlighter palette is going to be the triple scoop highlighter palette, and it includes 3 different shades and it has a Neapolitan ice cream scent. It is going to be retailing for $42, and then the Tutti Frutti Pineapple Glow mask is going to be a new addition to the Tutti Frutti collection and it is going to be a moisturizing and brightening face mask and it is going to be retailing for $42 and it's supposed to smell like pineapple. Both of these items are items that I'm not interested in whatsoever. I will say that the price kind of puts me off a little bit, especially when it comes to the mask. And here's the thing, I already have so many highlighters that I'm already getting through, so I don't need a few more. And then when it comes to the mask, I don't really want moisturizing and brightening. I kind of have like problematic oily skin, so I look for something else besides that. So this is going to be a pass. Like this is just not something for me. I don't care what kind of scent it is. I really don't. So I don't look at this and think, oh my gosh, I need it so much. I just look at this and think, okay, it's kind of interesting, but not really. So this is definitely going to be a pass. I just don't need it. So the Nubian 3 is coming out from Juvia's Place. This is going to be a coral edition, and it is a combination of cool and warm tones, and it's going to be retailing for $20. It is, I believe it is already available. I am looking at this palette and I'm just not interested. I feel like if it was a coral theme, I feel like they should have maybe like made it a little bit more coral heavy because I look at this palette and I see some neutrals and then some like orangey corally shades and that's pretty much it. I don't really see anything interesting in this palette and that makes sense since this is part of their Nubian collection. But do I want it? No, I just don't need this palette. This is definitely going to be a pass from me. This is nothing that I don't already own in my collection, and since there are so many neutrals in here, I just don't want this palette in general. Jouer has released a sneak peek of what is potentially a new eyeshadow palette that is going to be coming for summer 2019, and apparently it's going to be available at the end of May. I saw the sneak peeks of it. It seems to be a very minty kind of pastel theme, which I am honestly all here for. I really have been obsessed with like lighter, more pastel kind of tones recently. I know you can't really tell from my makeup right now because it's kind of dramatic, but I've really been into like the pastel lighter tones. This looks kind of interesting. I don't know if I'll be getting it or not. We shall see. I'm hoping for a palette that will be like all colorful shades. I don't know if we'll see that, especially if coming from Jouer, but we can hope. I don't know. I don't know what we'll see. I anticipate something along the lines of pastel, but I'm not really sure. I have a feeling we'll be getting a palette with a few pops of neutrals or a neutral palette with a few pops of color. And I'm also examining the model's eyeshadow, and she does have like a few neutral shades in there, or at least one neutral shade. So that's kind of the vibes that I'm getting with the sneak peek. I don't know if I'll like it or not. We shall see. Trend Mood has informed us that Kendall Jenner has filed for a trademark for Kendall and the name Kendall Jenner. Trend Mood is saying that this means that she'll be coming out with a new line of beauty products that will include perfume, shampoo, shower gels, skin cleansers, beauty masks, deodorants, nail polish, lip gloss, body creams, and more. This seems to me that this will be like a little bit more lifestyle and like self-care based compared to Kylie Jenner's makeup line. I don't know. Okay, I will say that I wasn't expecting Kendall Jenner to come out with a beauty line. She does seem to be quite busy with modeling, but I guess that the Kardashians are looking at the lucrative nature of Kylie Jenner's makeup line, and they're thinking, wow, let's do more of this. And I guess that's where Kendall Jenner got the inspiration to do her own kind of beauty line, and the fact that she is including like more self-care items is indicative to her image. Like we don't see Kendall Jenner going around wearing makeup. We see her looking kind of like no makeup-ish. We see her not wearing a lot of makeup at all. So I feel like this fits into her brand. However, am I excited? No, not really. I don't think I'll be like buying anything from this. I'm just not interested. So this will probably be a pass, but I am quite interested to see what kind of perfume she'll be bringing out. So there's that. Kylie Jenner is launching a new brand. This appears to be completely separate from her Kylie Cosmetics brand. This is going to be called Kylie Skin. Whew. I have a few things to say about this. The first product appears to be a face wash. It will be cruelty-free and vegan. See, here's the thing. I have like a little bit of a thing about celebrities coming out with skincare lines because unless they have literally proven and shown that they have done research and they have worked on this and they have literally given it their all to produce like the most amazing revolutionary set of products, which doesn't really happen that often. I kind of look at a celebrity skincare line with like a little bit of a really kind of expression, you know? I don't think that celebrities should be the ones to give us our skincare. Any celebrity in Hollywood, especially one like Kylie Jenner, they have access to nutritionists, to dermatologists, facialists, skincare experts. They can basically do procedures to make their skin look amazing. I don't know what exactly Kylie Jenner is doing, but I would be willing to bet that her skin is not all coming from skincare products. She is basically sporting amazing skin because of the practices that she is able to use because of the level of access she has, because of her fame and fortune. You know, she has amazing skin because of genetics, and yet she also has amazing skin because of her access to treatments that we don't have access to. So I highly doubt that she is going out and using solely her own skincare products to create the amazing skin that she is showing us today, you know. That's just my opinion. So therefore, I mean, I think that this brand will do very well, but is it a brand that I'll be buying from? No, not really, because I don't trust Kylie Jenner with my skincare. That's just the long and short of it. I just don't trust her with my skincare. Not because I think that there is a lack of research going into this. I can't necessarily know that, but I would rather go to a brand that is not owned by a celebrity for my skincare needs. I'm not going to trust a big celebrity to basically tell me how I should do my daily skincare. That's just how it is. Kota Beauty is also releasing a new setting spray. This is going to be called the Resting Boss Face, and it is inspired by the drag queens community, and it's waterproof, and it has an ultra matte finish. I do not have pricing, but it is going to be available on May 13th. I don't know. I probably won't get this because I already have some setting sprays I want to get through. But then at the same time, am I interested in setting sprays? Not really. So I don't think that this will be something that I'll be getting, but I am intrigued by it, but not that interested. And I have a feeling that this is definitely going to be maybe between $20 to $30, which is more than I want to be spending on a setting spray. So this is going to be a pass. Too Faced is launching a new mascara. This is going to be called the Damn Girl Mascara, and it is going to give you thick and curled lashes for 24 hours. It is claiming to give you full volume, intense black lashes, long wearing results, and a long lasting curl. I'm not too interested. I'm just not. My phone almost fell down. I am just not that interested in this at all. I really don't want a mascara from like a higher end brand. I prefer drugstore mascaras, so that is what I'm going to be sticking to. I have no doubt that this is going to be an amazing mascara. However, do I want it? Not really. Beauty Bakery is giving us a little bit of a sneak peek of a new eyeshadow palette, which is going to be called Breakfast in Bed. It includes 9 mauves, purple, warm, cool shades, and more. And it is going to drop on May 26th online and in stores exclusively at Ulta Beauty. Now, I think that I have mentioned in, previous videos, and I've also done a redesign of a Beauty Bakery eyeshadow palette. My thing with Beauty Bakery is I feel that they have like this really interesting baking theme that spreads throughout their entire brand. However, their eyeshadow palettes are kind of like just boring in my opinion. I feel that since their makeup theme is baking, they could do something like really just fun and interesting and fresh, but instead they're just giving us neutral palettes, and I'm not interested in that. I'm just not. Yes, this is a purple palette. There are purples in here, but I feel like this is a purple slash neutral palette, and that's why this is definitely going to be a pass. I'm just not that interested. Now, Knoblauch is launching a secret palette. This is a palette that is going to have 15 shades with different finishes going from matte to shimmery shades. And I will say that this is a very interesting color story in my opinion. Yes, they have some browns in there. No, I'm not happy about that. However, I will say that unlike, I believe, Knoblauch's Secret Garden palette, the packaging of this palette is just as interesting as the colors inside. And I actually feel like the colors inside are even more interesting than the packaging. They're so bright, they're so colorful. You definitely have a selection of really interesting shades in here. I'm curious to see people's opinions on this palette because I feel like the Secret Garden palette from Knoblauch got a lot of negative reviews, so I'm interested to see if they've altered the formula. I would love to see if they've done that or not. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll be getting this palette. I'm more interested in seeing what other people's opinions are, and I definitely could dupe this palette, or at least most of this palette, using colors that I already own in my collection, so this is going to be a pass. However, like I said, I am interested to see what other people might think of this palette. This is going to be available May 22nd on Knoblauch's website. Physicians Formula is also expanding their range by adding a Rose All Day Petal Glow Highlighter, and they're also launching a moisturizer with SPF 30. I have to admit, I'm not necessarily interested in the highlighter, however, I am interested in the moisturizer. The moisturizer does have SPF, which is perfect for summer in my personal opinion. I feel that this will be a good addition to my collection if I do choose to get it, and this is a drugstore brand, so I expect drugstore prices. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. The only thing that is kind of making me not interested in this launch is the fact that this is rose scented, probably, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I don't like the smell of roses. I just don't. It's just like a weird thing. I think it's because I had like a really bad reaction to eating rose petal jam when I was younger. I ended up getting food poisoning and it was so bad. So ever since then, I've sort of been turned off by roses. So I don't think I'll be getting this. I don't know. I want to smell it and see if I like it or not. We'll see. But I feel that this is the only thing so far in this video that I'm actually kind of interested in getting. So let's go into indie brands now. Bitter Lace Beauty is coming out with some diamond highlighters. And I have to say that this is a launch that I'm really, really interested in. Those highlighters look absolutely beautiful. I have to admit, I'm more interested in using them as eyeshadow toppers rather than highlighters. That's just how I am. Like I look at something shiny and like shimmery and sparkly and gorgeous, and I think eyeshadow. That's just the way I think, the way my brain works. So yeah, I mean, I have to say, I kind of want all of these shades. They look so pretty. But moving on, let's talk about this launch from Vee Cosmetics. And this is going to be an eyeshadow palette, and it is available for £24. And this has some different finishes in here. You have some metallic, sort of shimmery colors, and then you have some mattes. You have some warm tones, you have some cool tones, and most of this palette is colorful. There are some neutrals in here, but most of it is colorful. I have to admit, I'm not necessarily interested in getting this palette. I'm just not. Like, I like a lot of the shades in here. They do look really pretty. Do I own all of these shades? Yes, I do. I can definitely dupe this palette. But if you don't have anything similar to any of these shades in this palette, yeah, I guess go ahead and pick it up. However, I'm just not going to really be interested in this palette myself. Midas Cosmetics is launching a Flower Balm palette, and this is going to be available for $29, and it ships May 24th. I have to admit, like, I feel like I would have been interested in this at some point, but like, for some reason, I'm looking at this and I'm not like too intrigued, and I don't know why. I'm just not, like, I mean, there are some beautiful shades in here. You have some neon kind of colors, you have some pastels, you have some brights. It looks pretty, and there are some pressed glitters in here. However, am I interested in this? I don't think so. Like, I don't know. I'm just not. Like, I'm just not interested in this. So this is going to be a pass. It is pretty, and I like the brights, but I'm just not, like, I'm not obsessed with it. So this is going to be a pass. Also, the brand Max Up the Makeup Cosmetics is coming out with a Ready Set Summer Palette. It's available now for $25. This is actually the first time I've seen swatches look more interesting than the actual palette, which is, I do admit, a welcome experience, because usually the palette is the one that's like really saturated and really like just bright, and then the swatches are not as bright. But here's the opposite, and I kind of like that. I have to admit that this is a very interesting color story. I do like it better than the other color stories that we've seen in this video so far, because I feel that the theme in this color story is present. It is obviously like a really like summery theme. This is a color story that reminds me of like a pool in the summer with the floaties and like the bright colors, and the idea how that is combined with like the blue pool itself. I feel that this is a really interesting color story, and it works even though they are experimenting with a ton of different shades. So I do like it a lot. And I think it's interesting. Will I be getting it? I don't know. I probably won't, because again, I'm kind of backpedaling when it comes to getting new eyeshadow palettes in general, to be honest. But this is an interesting color story, and I do like the swatches. I feel like they look kind of pretty. So again, this is Max Up the Makeup Cosmetics, and this is going to be called the Ready Set Summer Palette, and it is available for $25. So that's pretty much it for this video. Those are all the things that I wanted to talk about. As you probably can tell, nothing that is really interesting. In fact, I feel that this is like one big giant anti-haul because I didn't really find a lot of like really interesting things in here. Most of the things I didn't really like enough to actually get, and the only thing that I actually really do find myself interested in is like the moisturizer from Physicians Formula, and I don't even know if I'll be getting that because if it's rose scented I probably don't want it. So yeah, this makes me feel good about my low buy. I definitely have to admit that. But that is going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting. Let me know your opinions down below and I'll get back to you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.